What is up, everybody? Grunt 4500 here, and today I am very excited. As you could probably tell by now, Halo Infinite just got a new campaign trailer, and it's fantastic, I'm so happy to say. If you follow me on social media of any kind, you probably know that I have been raving about this trailer for the last week or so. So today, I thought I'd go a little bit deeper and make a video about my reaction for this new Halo Infinite trailer. What I liked, what I'm worried about, and just kind of my general impressions of it as I watched it. Right off the bat, I want to say this trailer really hit me where I live, right in my childhood. Growing up with Halo for the last 15 years have created so many amazing memories, and this trailer feels like it is pulling on all of them, all my emotional strings of being a Halo fan. Starting off, this new pilot character introduced in this trailer is magnificent. Truly a wonderful character. I mean, just going through all of the emotions this character goes through in this 5-minute teaser is more than Halo 5 had in an entire 15 missions, if I'm being honest with you. Right as the trailer kicks off, our pilot awakes to something hitting his Pelican as he frantically gets up and runs to the back of the Pelican, trying to get the door open and frantically trying to fix the issue. It's so refreshing to see a character act panicked and afraid during a situation like this, and it's just been so long since we've seen that in a Halo game. It's just so nice to see. And from there, the trailer leads us to a completely different tone, a tone of sorrow and sadness as his wife and his child come up on his little hologram, and he has to watch them over and over and over again from what looks like a couple months until it finally dies and the last bit of hope fades away in his eyes.
Good singing. How about I miss you?
Miss you.
And I love you.
I love you.
I love you, Daddy.
It's this genuine emotion that captures me so much this far in the trailer. And what comes next is just so wholesome, so great. It's just so good to see as a Halo fan. In the midst of this hopeless scene, a green light emits into his face as it says there was a friendly tag nearby. He has to wait a few times for it to say it because it's like he's hallucinating. But after like the third time, you see his face light up and he scurries so quick into that cockpit. And what happens next?
Tag designation friendly. Signal detected. Tag designation.
This is UNSC Pelican Echo 216. Can you hear me? This is UNS.
Iconic. I mean, I am not joking when I jumped up out of my chair and exclaimed, "It's Chief!" You know, it's Chief! There he is, floating in space in his new armor. And from the first glance, it's iconic. It's classic. It's wonderful. Oh my gosh. It's as if my childhood had just jumped onto the screen again. Now, don't get me wrong. I loved the Halo 4 and 5 design of the Master Chief. But this bulky hunk that is so inspired by Halo 3, Halo Forward Unto Dawn, and definitely a lot of, the shape of the Halo 4 and 5 design in there. It's by far my favorite Master Chief design ever. No competition. I adore it. And that brings me right back to the pilot character, who steals the next moment for the most part. He has the Chief rigged up in these cords, and he jump starts him like a car almost. And his reaction both leading up to the jump start and immediately after is just so wholesome. It's so human. That human element is back to Halo, and it's great. And after so long, that classic recharging shield sound makes an amazing comeback. In fact, the pilot's reaction to the Chief booting up is pretty much myself and probably most of the community's reaction as well. It's just so genuine and it's so respectful to Halo and its identity. It's great. And I'm so glad to have it back. I really am. But here comes the money shot of the trailer. After a very brief change of words between the pilot and Master Chief, which is also really well done in my opinion, the Chief walks into the cockpit of the Pelican.
Whoa, easy there, big guy. You're not...
Status report.
Status report? What? There's something you need to see, Chief.
And what is revealed just chills down my spine. A Halo ring, most likely Zeta Halo, is revealed, and surprisingly with the good section missing from it, which brings up a whole lot of questions that I'll get to later. But it's such a great scene as the camera pans through right over the Chief's shoulders, and it just shows this amazing view of the Halo ring that we're going to be going on to. And immediately after, something EMPs the ship, knocking out all the power as the pilot freaks out in genuine terror as the Master Chief comes up with, one of the best Chief lines in recent memory.
No, we need to fight.
Those classic Halo drums start to pump up as he walks back into the back of the Pelican, and here we go. And there it is, the title card of the trailer, to classic Halo theme. A really good redo of it, actually. I really like this new sounding version. It's classic, but also feels really new. But right after, a new clip comes in, and it's very reminiscent of the assault on the control room cutscene seen in Halo Combat Evolved. With, of course, some very interesting dialogue from who I assume is Cortana.
I chose you because you were special. I knew we would be perfect together. And I was right.
It's very interesting dialogue that I want to touch on in a minute. But it's a wonderful scene. It brings me back to the Combat Evolved days, and it just looks really good, and I'm really excited about it. So overall, you could say I'm pretty happy about this trailer. Not much I'm worried about. I genuinely love everything I've seen in it. My only worry is that it's been confirmed this is the opening cutscene of the game. I do kind of hope we get a little bit of an intro cinematic before it, just like Halo 4 and 5 do, just to give a little bit of context to the game. But if it's not there, it's not a big deal. I'm sure we'll learn more about the events between 5 and Infinite throughout the game. Now I want to get to the second half of this video, which isn't breaking down the video, but I do want to discuss a few theories of mine about what might be going on here, just because, hey, speculation is fun, and we have a year and a half until Halo Infinite, and honestly, I'm dying to talk about it, so let's begin on this second half of the video, shall we? The most relevant thing I want to talk about is the AI chip in this trailer. The first thing that catches my eye about this AI chip is its small size. It's roughly half the size of what we're used to in the other Halo games, which is an interesting design choice. And one I quite like, especially considering this isn't the same AI chip that Chief has for Cortana. In fact, I don't think it's a traditional AI chip at all. When Chief puts the chip into his helmet, a little thing pops up on his visor that says, Weapon Containment Device Inserted. Verification ID 308-270-238. AI not detected. And I think the biggest takeaway from what we see here is the weapon containment part of it. With this in mind, I think the purpose of the chip is not kill Cortana or save her, but rather imprison her within that chip. Alternatively, it could be an AI chip for another AI that we get later in the game that's going to be the yin to Cortana's yang, similar to the medikit bias and offensive bias back and forth in the lore. But whatever it may be, it's definitely a big deal for this next part I want to talk about, when Chief is walking down the control room and Cortana is talking to him. Her voice seems shaky and uneasy as Chief approaches, almost as if she's trying to beg Chief to stop, or she's going to do something that she doesn't want to do to Chief, which is another alternate idea I kind of like. In fact, I don't even think that quote with Cortana even takes place in this control room. I don't even know if the scene and the quote are related in any way. So this might be a misdirect by 343, but it definitely sounds like a confrontation of some kind between Chief and Cortana, and it's probably going to get pretty emotional, so I'm excited to see where that goes. The third main thing I'm really curious about, and I want to talk about, is whatever attacks the pilot and Chief on their Pelican. My personal thoughts are that it's a Guardian, based on the bright color blue shining through the window and as the back of the Pelican opens up while Chief jumps out, but also because it looks to be an EMP blast that knocks down the power in the Pelican yet again. But more interestingly is because of how quick it attacks the Pelican as soon as the ship powers back up after Chief is revived. Now, I've seen some people theorizing it might be the Banished or a fraction of the Covenant working with Cortana, but I'm not sure how much I believe that, simply because with the Banished, it's more of a red light that we see, and with the Covenant, I mean, they kind of ended at the end of Halo 5. I mean, I guess a new one could have been reborn, but I don't know. Both seem pretty unlikely to me, so personally, I think this is a Guardian or a Forerunner related thing of some kind that the created are using. It'll be interesting to see. Those are just my theories on it, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. The last bit of speculation I want to focus on is the Halo ring itself and how it is damaged. And I think this is kind of damage to a Halo ring is the kind that we haven't actually seen before. Obviously in Halo Combat Evolved, we blew up the ring with the Pillar of Autumn, and that erupted the entire ring, broke it apart. You know, that was finished. But in the comics, in one of the Escalation comics with the Didact, Chief actually launches a section of the Halo ring off the ring. But the problem with that is that it's such a clean cut, and this is definitely very rigid. And from what the hologram looks like of the ring blowing apart, it looks like something had to ram it or hit it really hard. Not necessarily destroying the entire ring, but blowing out a section of it. So that's going to be really interesting to see what that is. One of my initial thoughts is maybe a ship of some kind, maybe the Infinity or a battle cruiser rammed it really hard and busted through it, kind of like what we saw in Halo 4 Spartan Ops. But I feel like the Halo ring would be a little bit too big for that to happen, and it would just end in Infinity blowing up itself. So honestly, I'm kind of at a loss of ideas of what might have caused it. But whatever happened, it definitely looks to be a major event, something incredible, like maybe a battle has just occurred, and that's what left Master Chief in space and the pilot drifting. So I'm sure throughout the game they're going to explore what might have happened. I don't know if we're necessarily going to get a cutscene of that happening beforehand, but it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens, and I'm really excited to see what they do with it. So I think that's going to wrap it up for the day, guys. What are your thoughts about Halo Infinite? Did you like the trailer? What are some of your theories? Please share them with me. If you hadn't added me on Twitter, it's at Grunt4500. I'd love to talk to you guys. I'm very passionate about this Halo community, and I really want to take part in it. So hit me up there. If you like the video, maybe give it a like. Subscribe if you want to. And we will see you around, hopefully with more content coming soon. Thanks, guys, and have a wonderful day.